the brotherhood, playing for the guy next to you, playing for the team.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? You're tuned in to the Buckeye Cast.
Buckeye Cast.
Tradition of Ohio State, we take that serious.
These fellas were born and bred in the Buckeye State.
Buckeye Cast.
The people of Ohio, we work every day to make them proud.
Visit us at thebuckeyecast.com and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Buckeye Cast.
Buckeye Cast.
Now here's your host, Joe Warwick.
I'm proud to be part of this group. Go Bucks!
What is up? Merry Christmas, Buckeye Nation, and all of our faithful listeners. We missed you so much. It's nice to see you tonight. Shawn, I got Shawn coming in here. Shawn Henry, everybody. Take a bow.
Hey, what's going on?
Take a bow.
Big Feliz Navidad to our friends out in Glendale.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, to everybody heading out for the game. Wish we could be there. We were there, what was it, 12, 13 years ago? Yeah. Talk to us offline about those stories. I'm not going to put that on something that's being recorded.
Yeah, I mean, there still might be warrants out for some of that.
Yeah. Or just wives that don't want to know these things. There's no warrant on that. So
yeah, that's a no statute of limitations.
Nope. That's a lifetime.
But we didn't go out though just on purpose because the last time we went there we got waxed. So
yeah,
we're doing the Buckeyes a favor by not showing up out there this time.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I just heard a lot of negativity from some Buckeye fans going against Clemson this time around because of 2016, and I feel like some Buckeye fans are afraid to face Clemson. I'm like, don't be fucking afraid, man. It's a fucking game. They are probably just as good as us, not better.
Yeah, it should be a football game. I don't know why anyone would be afraid. I mean, I was saying this from before we got put in. This is setting up exactly how I wanted. I wanted Clemson first round.
Yeah.
They smashed us last time we were in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I want a little revenge on that game. And You're right. They might be as good as. There's no way they're better than us, but they might be as good as us. And it'll be how what the kids put on the field and what the coaches come up with.
And we got revenge on our side. And as we all know, revenge is a douche best served cold. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for visiting the Buckeye Cast Supply Store. I know you can't get your Buckeye Cast shirts before Christmas at this point. This is Monday before Christmas. But you can return those sucky presents you're going to get on Wednesday and get yourself something you really want. Right, Shawn?
Get some merch.
That's right. And we got the long sleeve tees in. Hit it up. We got to send some shout outs to our recent customers, especially my girl Tracy. She had to return an item, and we got it out to her within a couple of days, and she was super happy. It was for her dad for Christmas, and she got it.
Nice.
So on
what
time.
A nice daughter, getting her dad some
exactly.
Buckeye Cast swag.
Yeah, we got it to her last Friday, and she was so pumped and sent me a nice message. So we appreciate you, Tracy, Jeffrey, Paul, Tom, and Suzanne. We appreciate all your patronage and your commitment to following the Buckeye Cast. And I know you guys are all loyal listeners. So, folks, please join the club. It's not really a club, but it's like a bunch of crazy people doing the same thing at one time. Listen to the Buckeye Cast. Subscribe. Visit the site. You can listen to the show there. You can shop and read even Buckeye news just nonstop. It's all there. We're going to get into recruiting. First off, we're going to do a little recruiting extravaganza. We basically have a 50-pound show that we need to cram into a 10-pound bag. Shawn, any advice on how to do that?
Well, it is Christmas season. Ask Santa Claus. Fucking puts gifts for every kid in the world in one bag.
Right. So think of this as a big stocking full of show. overstuffed to the gills. So we're going to talk recruiting. We're going to run through the class that just signed last week for 2020. And we're not going to get into heights and weights and, guys' hand measurements. We're just going to run through it generally speaking. And then we're going to get into the Clemson game, which is really why you came here, right? I mean, that's why I'm here. What else is there? But recruiting is always a huge turn on, right?
This time, well, it didn't used to be this time of year, but it's become, with the early signing period, it's become a pretty big deal. And I just look what this thing's turned into.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like the first year they did it, you got about maybe half your kids, and now it's like boom, everyone's classes are full, and there's just a couple stragglers are trying to get out there.
Sure.
It's amazing what it's done to the recruiting cycle.
Yeah, and the big programs are trying to get their guys in to sign in December so they can come into school in January.
Exactly.
So early enrollment is huge. We've seen how it's paid off for Buckeyes in just the last 2 years. Guys like Chris Olave.
Wilson,
yep. Guys just breaking onto the scene their freshman year because they're almost in the program for a full year. So, Shawn, did you get anything good for your wife this year?
Yeah.
Yeah? I got my wife a Dick in the Box. Yeah.
Small gift.
Yeah, to some people, maybe. What you don't know, right?
That's right.
So anyway, we should probably start the show now.
Oh, we're doing a show?
Oh, shit. A buffalo. Christmas buffalo. So, yeah, let's talk recruiting real quick. Let's run through these guys. I tell you what, generally speaking, this fucking class, it might be ranked number 3 overall, but if you're having a bad day, or you're pissed off, or it's cold outside, it's cold inside, you don't want to go out and shovel the walk, just crank up these highlights of these fucking guys. This will warm your fucking cockles. Tell you that. These guys are insane. Guys like freaking Paris Johnson. Kid's an animal. Any of these receivers, I'll tell you that, they will light up your life.
Oh my gosh, I've watched a bunch of those receivers highlight tapes, and I mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll put a hem in your dress. So 24 total commits, 8 from Ohio, 6, believe this, 6 in one class from Cincinnati. That's mine.
Really?
Yeah. I knew
Paris and
Darian Henry.
Out of Winton Woods.
And you got Mayan Williams, the running back.
Yeah.
You got Joe Royer, the tight end. So it's just insane to get 6 kids in one class. I'm not sure that's ever been done before because a lot of times. So
where does Notre Dame's class fall? Notre Dame usually hammers the hell out of Cincy.
I don't know. Maybe New Jersey's getting killed with Notre Dame. The East Coast is basically their lifeblood. Or maybe they're in big trouble. Who knows? So, yeah, 6 from Cincy. But the big highlight to me that people aren't really, I don't know, I guess you will notice this, but getting 2 4-star quarterbacks in this class, Shawn, it's insane.
I agree. In today's day and age, is it, I guess? It probably makes more sense now that you can get 2 kids, but full well, 2 years from now, one of those kids isn't with us.
Exactly.
And I don't mean with us that he died. I mean not with us.
Not with us, with others.
I mean he's not with the program.
Yes.
He's with someone else. And to me that's fine. And that's a bonus of the transfer portal that two good kids can come in. They don't have to feel the pressure. Hey, if I go here and if he's better than me, I got to ride the pine for 4 years. Where they can come in and they can get out if it's not there for them.
And guess what? They're being trained by Ryan Day at least for a year, maybe 2, before they transfer out. So that's looks good
true.
on the resume.
That's huge.
Yep. So, yeah, you can take your talents elsewhere if you really want to, but you don't know what injury is going to come about. I mean, Jack Miller missed a lot of his senior year in high school here, and fell below C.J. Stroud in the rankings because of injury. So, C.J. Stroud, number 2 overall. He was decided between us, Georgia, and Michigan. Obviously made the right choice. And Jack Miller's been committed since he was like fucking 16. So we stuck with him. And it's going to be an interesting battle. They're going to come in battling in January for that backup role next year behind Justin Fields.
Well, it is a nice spot, and with the way Ohio State's quarterback room is, maybe they would stay a little longer than others because it's not a deep room. And if one of them does get to start, not this year obviously, but next year, one of them could be the starter at Ohio State, right? Well, I'm guessing that one of them will be.
Yep. And
then the other guy would be presumably the backup. Mm-hmm. And then if that guy went pro at his eligibility time, you could potentially have 2 more seasons. So I mean, there's some outs for these guys that they don't necessarily have to transfer.
And injury plays a big part. I mean, that's what changed Joe Burrow's life. The broken hand in spring. That's what basically put Dwayne Haskins ahead of him, and then Joe Burrow turns into a Heisman Trophy winner 2 years later.
I was at that spring game. Joey B still looked like the best quarterback on that field.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that would have been neat to watch. Not that I love me some D-Train and Fields, but what would Joey have been able to do with the Buckeyes?
Another year in the
program. And Ryan Day's offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably about the same.
Yeah, I would think so. You almost want to think that we have a better quality receiver core than LSU. Better front line. You could speculate for days, but yeah. So to get 2 QBs, first time since 2011 in one class, we got Braxton and Cardale in the same class. You think back to that shit. Talk about night and day differences.
Braxton and Cardale.
Yeah. One freak and one dude with a cannon on his shoulder. But, yeah, then the running back, we got out of Cincinnati, Maya Williams, the only running back so far. We probably got a couple spots available should somebody come available, before February, but not bloody likely. Maya Williams, solid kid. Big dog, he's typical Buckeye running back, 5'10", like 220.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Smashing, yeah.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins type, Mike Weber type, pounder. Not a super fast guy, but is going to, pound between the tackles. Got 6 O-linemen in this class, man. These guys are some animals. And we got some kind of projects too. You got who's the dude? Trey LaRue out of Norwalk, Ohio. 6'8", 350.
Big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Get him and that other kid that we got. Who was that? 6'9" kid, Juwan.
Oh yeah, DeJuan Jones. Yeah,
DeJuan Jones.
Yeah,
love to see those 2 giants just smashing people.
Right. You got Grant Toutant out of Warren, Michigan. Jacob James out of Cincinnati. Josh Fryer out of Indiana. A lot of Midwest boys adding to that. And then, of course, the highlighter is Paris Johnson. He's just a fucking animal, dude. This guy. You do not want to be on the other line of scrimmage across from him. Forget that shit. He just buries dudes. I think he's going to bring the pancake back to popularity at Ohio State.
He's in a pretty heavy run deal, right? He's going to have to learn to pass block. Is that what the thing on Paris is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Luke Whippler out of New Jersey. He's actually a 4-star as well. So,
is he a guard or center? Did they have him as the center?
Center, yeah. That's how they have him ranked. We'll see how things pan out. You know how Buckeyes like to move people around on the front. But big deal to get 6 highly touted O-linemen, and with a couple of projects mixed in there. Defensive side of the ball, we got 3 linebackers. These guys all are heavy hitters. Love these kids. We have Cody Simon from Jersey, Court Williams from California, and Mitchell Melton. He looks like a hammer in the middle. He's only a 3-star, but he's 6'3", 235. He looks like a beater. He's from Maryland. I like this kid. I think Court Williams, Cody Simon are more of the outside, kind of a Pete Werner type. Faster, can cover, So, very interested to see how these 3 linebackers pan out.
And I don't really expect any of those guys to see the field next year. I mean, in meaningful minutes, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, probably not.
That room's too deep.
Right. But Court Williams is the guy that stands out to me just in the way he carries himself. I think he's like a future captain type of material. This kid is like a born leader and has a level head on his shoulders, and just is out there, telling people what to do. It's pretty awesome to watch him. I love his highlight tape, man. Crazy town. But anyways, corners. Of course, everybody knows we lost Clark Phillips to Utah on the last-minute flip. A lot of what I hear is that was a staying close to home situation, and best of luck to him. I call
bullshit on that.
Well, you can't blame the kid. Best of luck to him.
Oh, of course, best of luck to him, but I don't blame that. If you're going to stay close to home, then go to Washington or go to, Stanford or.
Well, playing for championships obviously was not a high priority. He took a last-minute official visit to Utah after Jeff Hafley, right around the time Hafley committed to that job with BC. So there must have been some interest already, right? Guy just doesn't decide on that last minute on a whim, And then Cam Martinez from up there in Michigan, he's going to wait till February to decide. Sounds like he really wants to see who Ohio State hires as the new secondary coach, right? Hafley had a plan for him as a DB, and some schools are still recruiting him as maybe an offensive player because he's actually a quarterback. He was Mr. Football up there 2 years in a row, right?
Is he from out there in Muskegon, maybe?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I think he was Mr. Football up there 2 years in a row.
I do not know that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep.
Just getting some Michigan boys that, was it Toutant out of De La Salle and Warren, who forfeited their playoff game. They had some hazing incidents going on at Warren De La Salle, which is a blue blood up here.
Interesting.
And so, I don't know if it was the first or second round of the playoffs, this stuff came to light. They're like, we forfeit, we're done.
Wow, must have been pretty
details,
serious.
But yeah, I think so. I think, a lot of bullying from upperclassmen to
guys that might have been committed to Ohio State.
What's that?
Guys that might have been committed to Ohio State, maybe?
I don't know about that.
I hope not.
I hope not too, but I just heard something that a couple of kids are suing the school. I don't know. It sounds like a mess.
All right. Well, hopefully it's not an issue for Grant. As far as the corners go, we got 3 good ones. Really like Ryan Watts out of Texas, 6'2", 190. This kid, long and strong. He reminds me of Okuda, the way he plays. Very physical. Gets up in your grill. Let you know what time it is.
6'2", 190. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And this guy, Legend Cavazos, we all remember he decommitted back when Urban Meyer retired or resigned, and they had him in here as a safety forever. They still have him in 24/7 as a safety, but he's coming into Ohio State as a corner. He's 6'1", 195. He's a physical freak. He's actually long and has a great vertical. So I think him coming in as a corner is awesome. He's from Texas, but he played at IMG. So I don't know what IMG's corners were like, but maybe they.
Well, one of them was the kid that's going to LSU.
Yeah, which one?
That number 1 kid the number 1 corner, I think.
You mean DBU?
Yeah, right.
Allegedly. So, yeah, and then Lathan Ransom, the safety out of Tucson, Arizona. He's a hitter. Love this guy. This guy is a force over the middle. I do not want to come over the middle on him on a fucking in route. No thanks. Love his hitting ability.
It sounds like we got some pretty good kids.
Definitely. I think, we got a couple of D tackles I didn't mention here. We got Davon Hamilton's brother, Ty, out of Pickerington. He's coming in. He's really made a change in his body. The dude looks like a ball player now. Wait till Coach Mick gets a hold of him. And Darion Henry, D tackle, and Jacoby Cowan. Darion Henry's from Cincy, coming in here with Paris Johnson, their teammates. Jacoby Cowan, like this kid. This kid is just mean looking. From Charlotte, North Carolina. So that was a big get. That was definitely a Larry Johnson special, going down to North Carolina and snagging him.
Yeah, for sure.
So the crown jewel of the positions really are the receivers, right? I mean, there's no two ways about it. We got, 4 of the top 15 in the country?
And I haven't watched everybody else's tape, but I've seen a lot of tape on these 4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're not 4 of the top 6. These dudes ball.
Right. Yeah. Julian Fleming, number 1 receiver in the country. Kind of was an early commit for the Buckeyes, and everybody thought he was going to flip to Penn State. All these quote-unquote internet Twitter rumors of him having secret meetings in the Penn State parking lots and stuff after games. Like, come on, man. I think his girlfriend goes there or something. I don't know. Then you got this kid. It just came out of nowhere. Jackson Smith and Jigba. This kid is setting records in Texas top-level football, man.
Yeah, no, he is. He's insane. You know, 11 Warriors, throws out those stats sometimes on the freshmen or the, committed kids. And look at some of these guys' stat lines on a game. They go off.
Yeah, 200 yards.
Yeah, it'll be like 9 catches, 220 yards, 4 touchdowns. Like, what the fuck?
Right. That's Texas football, apparently. In high school, they just whip it around the field. But yeah, it was funny. Brian Hartline was breaking down the receivers the other day in an interview, and he's saying that Jackson's going to have to get used to not getting 13 or 14 catches a game at Ohio State. That's not going to happen.
Right.
I mean,
not with that room.
No. We don't even throw it around that much. I mean, so then you got G. Scott coming out of Seattle. Love this kid's work ethic.
Oh, he's
a stud.
He's a stud.
Yeah. Another 4-star, a 97 ranking on 24/7. This guy is as good a player as he is a person, too. Yep. Yeah, love this kid's video. He's got the hands, huge hands. He's going to go up and get the ball and out-muscle you for it. He reminds me of a Michael Thomas, honestly, after watching his tape.
Hats off to record-breaking Michael Thomas.
Yeah, record-breaking, I should say, yes. Hopefully someday gold jacket wearing Michael Thomas.
Man, if he just keeps going like this for another 3 years, he's good.
I can't understand 140 catches in a season with the game to go. He could sit out and still have the record.
And he didn't have his quarterback for half the season.
Yeah, 5 games. Drew Brees was out. Yeah, insanity. That's why nobody can guard Mike.
Let's hope he's another Michael Thomas. Come on, Gee Scott. Get you some.
Yeah. Love this kid. And I'll tell you what, this story to me really stood out and told me about him and his family a week ago when Ryan Day was jet-setting all over the country trying to get in these kids' living rooms, with very little time to work with before signing day. And he's like, G. Scott's dad was like, you don't need to come up here to Seattle. We're good. We're solid. We're in. Go work on these other kids. That tells you something. Yeah. And they know what time it is, and they don't need to be glad-handed, and they're going to keep their commitment.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, the wild card in this receiver class is Mookie Cooper. Now, I love this kid's tenacity. He's a tough blocker. He'll block your ass downfield because he played a little running back in high school. He's maybe 5'9" if he's wearing high cleats. But he's a little brick shithouse. Had to sit out this season, which is horse shit, because he transferred high schools.
Yeah.
He wanted to be able to graduate early, and a lot of these Catholic schools will cock block you, and so he had to sit out this entire season because of transferring. Did nothing wrong, which is I think is so unfair to the kid.
Yeah, his size, he is. I see him if we keep and bring back the H-back. I don't really know what we're doing with that much anymore. I mean, it's just another wideout. Where before it was more hybrid. Yeah, right. The H-back's more to do a slot.
Exactly, dirty little slot.
But I think he'd fit that H-back real nice.
Oh yeah, yep. Kid's tough. He reminds me of a Rondale Moore, or who's the dude from Nebraska? Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah.
Short, fast, and has some toughness about him. But unfortunately,
it'd be tough to bring down.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just couldn't see him play this year, because he got screwed. But like I said, this class is fucking loaded. Number 3 in the country, and we're still looking to add maybe a couple more before February. So,
I'd like to get that Martinez for sure.
Yeah, yep, definitely an athlete. So, all right, we got to get into this college football playoff semifinal. We got Clemson. At least we're in the desert. It's nicer than being in the South, I'll tell you that. 8 p.m. next Saturday, the 28th, in the PHX. Glendale, Shawn, we have been there. We have seen that flying saucer in the desert. This is on ESPN. Last time we saw our Buckeyes on the field, they were in Indianapolis. They beat up Wisconsin in the second half. Won that game 34-21. Went on a nice little 27-0 run to polish that game off in the second half. But this is a different story. This is a different animal. Those were badgers. These are tigers. So very different.
This is a huge game. This is the game. This is why, in one of those videos, this is why you go to Ohio State to play in these games, get in these games. Yeah. Clemson whipped us, what was that, 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2013 and 2016. 2016 was the legendary 31-0.
Herb's worst loss, wasn't it?
Yep. Which actually triggered the hiring of Ryan Day and Kevin Wilson. Fun fact. They were hired just weeks later. So we know how Clemson rolls. I got to jump in right now and say Buckeye fans need to embrace this fucking revenge factor and not be afraid of this team that, yeah, they've won 28 in a row. Guess what? We've beaten some fucking winning streaks before. Remember those Canes teams of 2002? Same deal. We took down that streak too. So here we go with Dabo. He plays that quote unquote little old Clemson card, We're just little old Clemson here, not getting any fucking respect, And I'm getting sick of that. I'm sick of his fucking goofy face and his dumb fucking hat. and then these Clemson...
Like the Dabo.
Dude, don't get me started on him and his fucking Bible-thumping bullshit, because I think it's all a fucking hoax. Someday he's going to be caught in a rub and tug. For real, I said it. Mark it down. And then everybody on the Clemson fan boards, they're saying this isn't going to be a game. They're going to beat us till we can't walk. Our skill positions their skill positions will run circles around us, be another blowout. OSU is not ready for their speed and their hard hitting. So I love that they're getting so pumped up full of their bullshit. I love it.
Yeah, I think they're in trouble. If Ohio State comes out and plays how they can, they're going to run into a buzzsaw. Mm-hmm. To me, this game goes. There's only two ways. It's either a close game and either one wins, or Ohio State could blow them out. I don't think there's any way Clemson can blow Ohio State out. No way.
No, I don't see this being a blowout in either direction. These teams, in my opinion, are like almost mirror images of each other. They are explosive offenses. The Buckeye defense is much improved and is probably almost better than Clemson's, in my opinion. You can call me crazy and say I'm one-sided, but yeah, it's my fucking show. I don't see their defense being as good as they've been in the past. They don't have the wrecking crew.
They lost 3 first-rounders on the D-line last year.
Yeah, they don't have the wrecking crew up front.
Which is key. College football, that's key. Now, they've got really good guys. But you can't replace 3 of those guys. We kind of luck out every year and get a Nick Bosa and then a Chase Young and then, maybe Tyreek Smith. And we are kind of doing that. But you can't do 3 in 1 year.
Right.
I'm not sure what their secondary and linebacker situations are like, but to me, this game will be won and lost on the lines. And D-line to D-line, I think our starting line's better than theirs, and I think it's deeper. I think they got studs that are really good but I don't think they go 8 deep like we do.
No, No, not across the front. On their offensive side of the ball, obviously we've all heard about Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence. He's mobile. He's got an arm. He's a big kid. He can take off when he doesn't see things downfield. You also got the running back Etienne. I think he's actually more dangerous than Trevor Lawrence. This kid gets some serious yards after contact. You got to bring the whole fucking defense. We need silver bullets flying to him and taking him down after contact. We can't let him break an arm tackle from a linebacker. He's the one dude that really scares me because he can break off some big ones. But I do want to point out some numbers. These are important to me. Rushing defenses that Etienne has faced this year, on average, are ranked 84th. The best defense they faced was ranked 30th. Ohio State's run defense is ranked 7th in the country. Chew on that.
Yeah, and we play teams that like to run the ball.
You mean Wisconsin? They like to run the ball?
All of them. Michigan,
Penn
State.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're still ranked 7th. We've faced a lot of running offenses with some big hog mollies, and we're still ranked 7th. So I like our chances there. Like I said, though, you gotta bring everybody. The whole party has to come and take down Etienne. Then when you get into the passing game, you got still is an Ohio person, but Jackson Carman, the sellout, I like to call him, the Benedict Arnold. He's allowed 0 sacks this year.
Really?
Yeah. So he is what we thought he was. And we let him out of the state. So interesting to see him going against Chase Young occasionally. And, of course, how they will go against Chase, whether they're chipping, double teaming, or whatever.
What about the rest of the line? That's what I was curious about, is what's Clemson's line like? That, to me...
They're mostly all conference kind of guys. Not national, like all-Americans, but just all conference, like first and second teamers.
Yeah.
So, not terrible. But I wanted to highlight Jackson Carman because I know Chase is going to go against him. And they faced each other in the opening in the past, in high school.
So, are they the same year?
They might be a year difference, but I know they went against each other. One might have been a senior, one was a junior. And then how do we combat those wide receivers? They got a couple big wideouts that are built like tall, like Michigan's receivers, big, tall, but better, more reliable. Higgins and is that Ross kid, I think. So do we end up bringing in an extra safety or an extra DB besides Okudah, Wade, and Arnett, or do we focus on stopping the run and go with a 4-3 kind of look? These are the questions that'll be interesting to see.
I think you start with you have your 4-3, and your back four guys are your back four guys. You got Arnett, Okudah, Wade, and Fuller on the field. That should be good enough to tie up anybody's receivers. I mean, hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah,
I think early on Trevor was throwing some picks. Maybe I think he tightened that up the last part of the season, but. Mm-hmm. I think we need to get pressure on him right away.
Yeah, you don't want to leave your DBs out there for 4, 5, 6 seconds trying to cover guys. you also need Jordan Fuller to be out there erasing some of these potential big plays. Okay, so you give up a slant for 10 yards. Don't let that turn into a 50-yard score. You need these guys in the back end to cover that up and make sure it doesn't break for a big one. I'm saying the defense needs to make these fuckers march the field. Make them go 80 yards, 75 yards, in a methodical drive, not a 3-4, play drive where they break off two big ones.
Yeah, I wonder who we're going to. Dabo gets creative. This is going to be a great game. This is good fun. This should be great football.
And you got Halfley pulling double duty now that he's taken that BC head coaching job. Obviously,
is he coaching this game?
Yeah, he's coaching. Yeah, same with that Jeff Scott guy. He's not their offensive coordinator, but he's a coach on their offense. Anyways, he just took the USF job over here in Tampa, so he's still gonna.
I thought Halfley was gone and wasn't coaching this game.
No. Most of these coaches will finish out the season. Like they'll do double duty. For last week they were working on gathering their staffs and recruiting. Now this week it's all game prep. But Clemson's going through the same bullshit, so it's just the way things happen. Like Herb always said, you want to have assistant coaches that are wanted versus not wanted, which
sure.
we saw a lot with Trust's staff. Those guys never moved.
Yeah, D'Antonio's staff.
Excellent point. And definitely not moving for another year, apparently, right?
Who knows?
Maybe they can find another way to shuffle them around.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, getting into the Clemson defense real quick. They come out, they play a lot of 3-3-5. So that tells me that if that's what they typically do, that Brent Venables, their D coordinator, is going to totally change shit up. They'll probably come out.
He's a prick.
He's a fucking asshole. They'll probably come out in a bear front, with 5 down linemen and shit, and 3 DBs or some shit. But if they come out in 3 down linemen, we are going to run the fucking ball down their throats, dude.
I would think so.
That's what Ryan Davis would do anyway. Establish the run and get JK off, get him off early, get those 3 guys in the middle. Jonah Jackson, Josh Myers, Wyatt Davis, as Ryan Day calls them, the tip of the spear. They are key to getting that running game going. And this is where I think we regardless of how they line up, we're going to try and shove it down their fucking throat. And then that's when you loosen them up a little bit. Safeties start creeping down in the box. And
Olave.
Yeah. Olave, Garrett Wilson get wild. Maybe you let a tight end, Ruckert, sneak down the seam. Kabow.
I think some of the old guys might get some here. KJ, Ben, Mac.
Yeah, sure. Everybody's included. Nobody's left out. That's what we've done though. If you look at how we've come out against every tough defense, supposedly we played like what? All like top 5 defenses with Michigan State, Wisconsin, Penn State. What did we do?
Yeah.
We came out, JK went for 30 plus carries and 150 to 200 yards.
If JK keeps running like he has all year, there's no way they can beat us.
And I tell you what, though, we got to have Fields at 100%. He has to be able to use his legs, especially on those third downs. When it's 3rd and 5, maybe you're not guaranteed to get it on a running play to JK. You got to get Justin out and maybe not a QB draw necessarily, but roll him out, or a drop back situation where if the first read isn't there, he can step up and find an open lane to get 5. We got to have Fields 100% healthy.
Is he? What's the prognosis?
They say he's going to be 100%. But what else would you say? You got to have him no knee brace. He's got to be, normal Justin Fields, and that's where I think.
I don't know. Maybe you keep the brace on it though, just to protect it.
But it holds him back, mobility wise.
Maybe that small brace or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it might be something that he needs to make him feel comfortable. I don't know.
He doesn't like that big brace. He looks.
That old lineman brace.
Yeah, exactly. He just says it's super uncomfortable. So, yeah, I say, let's. He said he's been rehabbing it. Even when they were on the Heisman tour and stuff up in New York, they gave him things to do for rehab. So, all this travel around probably is not helping matters. But I think a 100% Justin Fields gives us a huge, huge lift. So, I think the key to victory here is the running game runs wild.
Yeah, whoever wins the running game, I think, wins this game.
And I think our O-line against their D-line is definitely a favor for us. Unless they magically find a couple more D linemen. I think the Buckeyes run wild, and it's all J.K. and Fields. And then we'll take some shots down the field occasionally, here and there, to Olave, Garrett Wilson. And if that gets shut down, or we're not running the ball well, then you start hitting those crossing routes with KJ. So many options.
There really is. It's this team's complete, and all the stuff I saw about Clemson earlier in the year, they didn't look that great.
Right.
I never really watched them, but they have. We've been in some tough games. I don't think they're ready for a game like this.
Yeah,
this isn't Wake Forest or Virginia or
right. Yeah, they've played one of the weaker schedules in the country compared to us and anybody else in the top 5. So you can argue that we haven't played anybody like them. Okay, I'll listen to that. But they've played the fucking ACC. We played the Big Ten, where you have better quality. Maybe not Clemson quality, but you have much better quality than the ACC that they played against.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a good one. I can't wait. I hope that Buckeye fans bring it. This is like Columbus West out in Phoenix. So not worried about Clemson fans overtaking Phoenix, Arizona. I don't think their buggies will make it out that far.
Yeah, I got to think that there's a nice Ohio State contingent.
Mm-hmm. Like a 75-25 kind of split is what I'm picturing. Maybe greater.
Yeah.
When we were out there against Florida, it was at least 75-25.
Right.
So let's get into it. Our final score predictions and our microscopes for the big one. This is to move on and probably play Joey B for all the marbles. Shawn, who do you have under your microscope on offense?
I got J.K. Dobbins. I said earlier, I think this game is going to rely heavily on the run game, controlling it, long drives, sustained drives, and like you said, then it's going to soften them up, and then Olave and company over the top. I think it'll be too much for them, but it's all going to start with J.K. Dobbins. If we can't establish a run, then all bets are off.
Yeah, it would be a difficult situation if we have to rely on the pass to come back in the game. It's not impossible, but it's not ideal. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna put my offensive microscope on Justin Fields. I think we go as he goes. I agree that JK and establishing that run is key, but if we can't get third downs and convert and keep the chains moving on the back of Justin, whether it's a nice little 5-yard out route to Austin Mack or maybe a little crossing route to KJ to keep the chains moving, then we're in trouble. We can't rely just on the running game. Running game will be key for sure, but you got to have these timely passes. So I'm going Justin Fields.
I'm mad at you. I mean, of course, the whole season's been on Justin Fields. He's handled it like a veteran, and kid always has a great attitude. You know, I've seen him start out a couple games a little bit like he's too excited, maybe overthrowing some things, but kid always seems to reel it back in pretty quick.
Yeah, we can't afford that first quarter or first half of inaccuracy. He's got to come out calmer, maybe dial it back a little bit. We can't be rifling balls over guys' heads in the second quarter. You need to be settled in at that point. Yep. Key. So, flipping it over, who do you have on defense under your microscope?
Well, I've got the run game in mind, so I'm going with my old faithful Tough Borland.
You haven't laid off that guy all year. I think you had him every week.
So, like you said, that Etienne he's no joke. And if he's busting off of or juking, stiff arming a Tough Borland and then going for 25, that's a problem. Yeah. We've done pretty well at shutting down everybody's run. Everybody's. The second game, Taylor, he got his. With the first game, we shut him down. And if we can hold that Etienne under 100 yards, this game should be easy.
Yeah, that sounds like a formula for victory. I know this sounds easy. A lot of people like to think about, the receivers on the outside and the secondary covering those guys. I'm going up the middle, and when I've gone with Davon, it's actually worked out well in our favor. So I'm rubbing my lucky rabbit's foot, and I'm going Davon Hamilton, and up the middle, pressure, especially in the pass game. Helping the run is gonna be important too, But getting pressure up the middle into Lawrence's face, I think is going to be key, because I think they're going to double team or at least chip on Chase Young. So I think getting pressure up the middle is going to help push Trevor Lawrence into making some throws quickly that he shouldn't, or just throwing it away. And so I'm going Davon. I think he's going to be pivotal in both the run and the pass. Not sexy, I get it, but we're going big sexy.
No, I mean, with this type of quarterback, I agree. You need to have some pass rush up the gut. I wonder if you'll see a lot of Jason Cornell for that same purpose.
Yeah.
On the inside there.
Could have easily gone with him, yeah.
But, yeah, because, I mean, you don't want to get Chase Young too far upfield and then leave that lane wide open for this guy to take off running. Mm-hmm. But if you can push up from the center,
force him outside.
Got nowhere to go.
Yeah, force him outside right into Chase Young. So yeah, let's get into our predictions right here. This is the big one. Win and move on. Buckeyes are a 2-point underdog, not to be understated. I think that underdog role will be played up and hammered home. We know that was a huge motivator for Urban Meyer coach teams, and I'm sure Ryan Day is going to take that cue. Buckeyes +2, over under is 63. Shawn, I put it to you.
Well, here's the one thing that I don't get is Ohio State in every poll, I think college football playoff, AP, coaches, they were number 1 or number 2 in all of them. And then they playing Clemson, where everyone had it like 4th at the time, and give Clemson a 2-point. So thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take the 2 points. I laid a C note on it.
Nice.
Let's play. I think it's 38-24 Buckeyes.
Ooh, not even
How
close.
you like that?
Not even close. Not even a ball game. I'm going.
Yeah, I think it has that potential.
Yeah, see, you always worry about these big games with high-powered offenses and good defenses. Who's going to show up? The defenses or the offenses? And I think this is going to be a low-scoring affair. I think the Buckeyes are going to run the shit out of the ball. I don't think they're going to break off big, long, 40, 50-yard runs. I think this is more of a sustained ball control game. Buckeyes actually kind of play that Wisconsin role and slow the game down and just gradually wear down Clemson. I see a low-scoring affair well under the 63, but Buckeyes to win by 3. I'm going 37-34 Buckeyes. No, it's too high.
No way.
I'm going 34-31. No, it's still too high. No, I'm going 31-20. No. Yeah. Go 31-28. 31-28. Mark it down. Don't get to the 63, that's for sure.
I don't know. I actually think that Ohio State should try some tempo early.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson's got stud starters, but I don't know how deep they go, especially on that D line. And if you can get some tempo drives that are long, they might start changing these guys out.
Yeah, if you can, but that also works against your own defense. If you are going 3 and out in like 2 minutes time, then that's a problem for your defense.
Well, that's always the rub with that, right? You got to convert.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, if we get the ball first, then I say, yeah, go up tempo, try and wear them down as quickly as possible. They're going to be jacked up, too, on defense. If you can go up tempo when it makes sense, I agree. But you got to remember to give that defense a rest. I know Ryan Day knows all this stuff, so it's not like we're talking to somebody that doesn't know anything. But these odds to win the championship are still kind of interesting to me. LSU is a plus 125 leading the way. Ohio State and Clemson are both at plus 250. And Oklahoma obviously has no shot at plus 1,000.
They got Oklahoma at plus 1,000.
Yeah. Well, Oklahoma has like 3 dudes suspended. And they didn't have much of a shot anyways. Yeah. So. Yeah. Interesting. We'll see how these odds change. I think whoever wins this Ohio State-Clemson game immediately becomes the favorite versus LSU. I think these kind of flip-flop. The winner of this game.
I don't know about that.
I think so. Unless LSU can show me they can play defense. What?
Where's the national championship game?
Fucking New Orleans, of course.
And you think that someone's going to be favored over LSU in New Orleans? No way.
In my opinion, this Ohio State-Clemson game, I've listened to a lot of national writers talk about it. This is the quote-unquote national championship game. Ohio State versus Clemson. Just like when we played Bama in 2014. Same thing.
Right.
This is the, ipso de facto national championship, and the winner of this goes on and beats LSU, is the assumption. Just because of LSU's defense. And I agree.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's a huge game. This is it.
Yep.
Win or go home.
Let's do it, Buckeye fans. Let's get into it. Anybody out there in Phoenix, please be loud, be proud, let these fucking orange and purple goofy fucks know what time it is, and let's squash this game. Let's get this over with early. I would love to be able to sit back and relax in the second half and pour my victory shot in the third quarter.
I'm with you.
Yep.
Big game.
Yep.
I had to come home to the hallowed grounds of Ohio, watch this one.
So, yeah. All right, Buckeye
Send
fans.
my good vibe in my Buckeye Cast gear.
There you go. So, yeah, this is it. It's what it's all about. We're winding down. Before we get out, just want to remind you all to hit up the site, check out the supply store, get yourself something post-Christmas. Just because Christmas is over doesn't mean you can't get yourself something that you really want. And as always, we appreciate our customers. Thank you for coming back, and thank you for our new customers. Shawn, thank you so much. Hope you have... Stop it. What's Merry Christmas?
They don't celebrate Christmas, really. Merry Christmas is Merry Christmas.
All right. What's English for Merry Christmas? But anyways, yeah, thank you, everybody. We appreciate this year. It's been a great year for the Buckeye Cast, and we're going to keep cranking this thing out. As always, we appreciate you. A great 2019, and let's make it a better 2020. Have a good one, Shawn.
All right, peace.
Good.